Passive income, it's the holy grail for so many investors. Dividend investing for passive income is one of the best ways to truly create actual passive income. In this video, I'll show you how to pick stocks, and I'll also start creating a passive income dividend portfolio on Robinhood that I'm going to take from $0 to $100,000, and I'll need your help. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Jay, and on this channel I give you the tools, the tips, and the tactics that you need to get the most out of your money. And like I said before the intro sequence, in this video we're going to be starting a passive income dividend portfolio on Robinhood that we're going to take from $0 to $100,000. Now, losing my job earlier this summer really drove home the importance to me of starting to create multiple streams of income. So in the event that it happens again, it won't be as big of a deal because I'll have other forms of income to fall back on. So creating some passive income with dividend investing is a great way to get started on that. Now, I know a lot of other YouTubers have done stuff like this. I think I saw it first on Ryan Scribner's channel, but I think in his video he actually mentions that he saw it on someone else's channel first. So there's really no original ideas anymore, but I think it's a fun idea, something I want to get started on. So I'm gonna say shout out to Ryan. I saw your videos. Link to his channel is in the description below if you haven't checked him out before. So now let's get into how this is gonna work. The account I'll be using for this is the Robinhood account I opened when I did my Robinhood review video, which you can check out up here. And if you want to sign up for Robinhood, the link is in the description. You get a free stock just for signing up and linking your bank account, so you might as well go do that. Now, the first rule for this $100,000 dividend stock passive income portfolio I'm going to build here is that I am not going to buy any stocks that I already own elsewhere. Now, in a recent video, I took you through my dividend stock Roth IRA, and there's about 14 stocks in there, so none of those stocks are going to be eligible for this project. If the time comes where I feel that any of those stocks are worth buying more shares of, I'll just do it in that Roth IRA account where I already hold the stocks. This just keeps things simpler for me, and I don't have to worry about having different stocks in 3 different accounts. So how are we going to fund this account? Where's the money going to come from? Well, to kick things off, I put $1,000 of my own money into my Robinhood account to get things started. From there on, I've set up a recurring transfer into Robinhood from my bank account of $100 a week. I've also recently set up a Patreon account for my channel, and if anyone is feeling so generous, you can go over there, become a patron, support the work I do here, and any of the money that comes from that will come directly into this portfolio. Now, one of the levels over there on Patreon will have the added bonus of you'll get some interaction on how this portfolio is invested. I'll put up regular polls over there for patrons of that level, where you will get to choose which stock I invest in that week or that month. I haven't decided how often I'm going to do that yet. So if you're interested in becoming a part of this, you can do that. You can head over there and check that out. I'd be grateful for any and all support. Now, the third way that money will find its way into this account is if this YouTube channel ever makes any ad revenue. We're a little ways off from that right now, so if you want to help me get there, now's a good time to remember to subscribe to the channel and share my videos with your friends. Okay, so now the strategy. How are we going to pick stocks for this account? Now, I'm going to follow a dividend growth investing strategy, as I feel that's the best way to create passive income from dividend investing. All right, now let's get into it. How to pick stocks. How exactly are we going to find the stocks that we're going to buy in this account, and what criteria am I going to use? Now, I just mentioned that it's going to be a dividend growth portfolio, so obviously the first metric we're going to look at is a company's history of dividend growth. Now, I want to see at least 10 years of consistent dividend increases from a stock. So 10 years is the minimum I want to see for dividend payments and consecutive increases, but obviously we're going to give preference to those long-term dividend stocks that are on the Dividend Aristocrats and Dividend Kings list. So that'd be 25 years and 50 years of consecutive payouts and increases. The second thing we're going to look at when evaluating a stock is its PE ratio. That's the stock's price compared to its most recent earnings, and it's a good, quick way to kind of determine if a stock is trading at a good value or not. So ideally, I'd like to see a PE ratio of 20 or less, but I'm gonna set the bar at a PE ratio of 25 or less. And because the market has been so hot lately, I'm gonna be a little flexible on this because it might be really hard to find stocks that meet this threshold. The next number we're gonna look at when we're looking at how to pick a stock is the dividend payout ratio. Now, the dividend payout ratio tells us roughly what percentage of a company's earning they're paying out as a dividend. The lower this number, the safer that dividend would be, and the more chance they'll be able to increase it in the future. When the dividend payout ratio starts getting really high, up near 100%, or in some cases above 100%, that's a sign that the dividend may be in trouble, and that'd be a red flag to us when we're looking to enter a stock position. So when we're looking for dividend stocks for this passive income portfolio, we're going to set the dividend payout ratio at a maximum of about 55 to 60%. Now, dividend yield is another important number that a lot of dividend investors look at. And if you remember my video on the number one mistake new dividend investors make, it's that they get too carried away looking at the dividend yield. So for this dividend investing passive income portfolio, I'm not going to have a set dividend yield that a stock has to make. Now, that's because one of my favorite dividend stocks is Visa, which has an extremely low dividend yield, but the prospects for share price growth and their dividend growth rate more than makes up for their low current yield. Now, on the flip side of this would be a company like Verizon that pays out a pretty hefty dividend yield, but the prospects for share price growth and the amount of dividend growth are a little lower. One number I will be looking at, though, is the dividend growth rate. Now, I want to see a dividend growth rate of about 2%, just so I can be sure that the rate of increases of these dividends is kind of keeping pace with inflation, which in recent history has fallen around the 2% mark. Now, last but certainly not least, I want to see a trend of earnings growth. So I'll look at the last 5 to 10 years of a company's earnings, and ideally, I'd like to see a nice steady pattern of earnings growth over that time. That's usually a reliable indicator of a steady, healthy, growing company. If you see a declining earnings trend, that means there might be some major problems in that company's business. Or if you see a company's earnings wildly swinging up and down from quarter to quarter or year to year, you're definitely going to have to do a lot more research into what's causing those swings before you feel comfortable investing in that company. Now, I do want to say these are only guidelines. I'm willing to compromise on one or more of these factors if I feel strongly enough about the stock overall. So these aren't hard and fast rules, they're just guidelines that'll help me narrow down that entire list of stocks that's out there into a shorter list for further research. Another important thing to note is this isn't going to be a trading account. I'm not going to be constantly buying and selling stocks or buying and selling shares. I'm going to try to buy and hold stocks within this account and just collect the dividends and watch the dividends they pay out continue to grow and get reinvested into more shares. Like I said, that's dividend growth investing, and I feel that's the best way to create passive income from dividend stocks. The only times you'll see me selling shares of my dividend stocks are under two circumstances. Number one, obviously, if the company cuts or stops paying a dividend. In that case, that stock no longer really fits the strategy of this portfolio, and those things usually occur when there's more underlying problems with the company, so in that case, I will probably sell my shares of the stock. Now, even if a company continues to pay the dividend, if there is some major change in the core of the underlying business that I don't like, that may be another reason to sell the stock. Examples of that would be a big scandal involving the CEO that's really going to affect the company, or an accounting scandal like happened to Enron, or if I hold an oil stock, a large oil spill, because I have learned my lesson from BP. So unless something major like that happens, the goal is to just buy and hold a stock, collect the dividends, get that passive income machine building, and get this thing up to $100,000. So I really think this will be a fun experiment as we start dividend investing for passive income and try to build this thing up from $0 to $100,000. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the updates. My next video coming out, I'm going to show you the first couple of stocks I have bought for this portfolio and exactly how I went through and bought them using the Robinhood app. Oh, and before I forget, I made myself a note here on my iPad. I just started a Facebook group for subscribers of my channel where you can join the group. We can get a good group of like-minded investors together. We can talk about investing. We can talk about our personal finances. And we can all become better investors and better with our money together. So the link will be in the description below. I hope you'll join me over there. I think that'll be something fun to do. Another way for us to connect. As always, you can also follow me on Instagram. I post there all the time. My handle is on the channel. I forget which corner I put it in. And if you like this idea for a video series, hit the like button down below. Let me know you're into it. And leave me a comment. Let me know, what do you think the first stocks I'm going to buy are? Let's see if you're right. So that's all for this one. I will see you in the next one where I reveal those stocks. So until then, have a good one. In this video, I'll show you how to pick stocks. In this video, I'll show you how to pick stocks, and I'll start building a... In this video, I'll show you how to pick stocks, and... what am I gonna say?